Welcome to my channel, Level Headed with Levi T. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and set the bell notification to all. Please also share this. Let's get into it.
Don't wait up, I've been working hard every day, living dreams for a pay stub, yeah, straight up. 5 years later, like I said, I would make it on my way up. It's all up, coming from the nation, made a foundation, true stuff, yeah, too tough. We ain't giving up on our dreams, everything is ahead of us. Stay true to your path, it's not where you start, it's all where you're at. It's where you end up when your back's to the mat. Do you cripple the flat or get up off your back? Deliver these facts to see them react. The stadium's packed, they all gonna snap. The motivated attract, the escalated attack, the frustrated hit back. Yeah, we move fast. I wanna change everything. I swear I'll do anything just to get where I wanna be. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. It's automatic, I'm always getting after it. If you ain't working, I don't understand what's happening. There's not enough time just to be imagining. You gotta take some action towards practicing. I know it's not easy, but you gotta get out there. Make your own meaning, can't afford to have doubts. They'll interrupt dreaming, I just wanna look out there. The crowd all screaming. I wanna change everything. I swear I'll do anything just to get where I wanna be. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go.
Hello, everybody, on this Saturday night or Saturday evening. We're going to be covering missing Taylem Berry. Taylem went missing on October 9th, 2022, was the last contact. He is 4 years old, 42 inches tall, around 40 pounds. He has blonde hair, pictured here. He was taken by his father, which is Raymond Berry. He is 39 years old, 5'9", 200 pounds. He has brown hair and a goatee, but may shave to hide his identity. He may also cut or dye Taylem's hair to disguise him. Taylem may be going by Ragnar Allfather as well. It is believed that Ray was prepared to live off the grid. Ray suffers from PTSD and is untreated. Do not approach. If you have any information or if you see them, please call 911. Also, follow up with Sidney Police Department at 406-433-2210. They are believed to be in this green 1995 F350 with Montana tag F0016. This is Ray. There's a couple different pictures here. He may even have a full beard at this point in time. I have Taylem's mother here, Autumn, and I'm going to bring her up and we're going to go over what happened, and then we're going to ask some questions. I do have some other pictures of they have a tent with a wood burning stove. I do have some new pictures of that, so I'm going to bring her up. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I've been better.
All right. Let's go through October 9th, but it doesn't have to be I heard on the other interview some of the stuff, but just go over that was you guys had met in a parking lot, and why don't you start there?
Yeah, we met in a parking lot so that I could get Taylem back to have some time with. And Ray decided that that was not going to happen, and grabbed Taylem. He was trying to climb into my car and put him on his shoulders and walked off. And that was the last time that I saw either of them.
Okay. So the last time you saw them was on October 9th. His phone was still on.
Yes, his phone was still on. His phone was still on until the 24th of October, but he stopped answering it on the 11th. Wouldn't he wouldn't answer my calls, and I tried calling from multiple numbers and contacting him every day, and he wouldn't answer his phone. And then on the 24th, he had his phone disconnected.
So, do you believe they left on the 9th, or do you believe that they left a couple days afterwards?
I hadn't seen them and didn't know anything. There are a couple people that thought they might have still been in town. One of his friends was trying to get a hold of him because he hadn't been coming to work, and texted him on the 12th, and he didn't answer. And he called him later that day and told him that they were already gone. So I don't know what day they left, but when he called his friend on the night of the 12th, they were already gone.
Okay. Has he done this before where he takes off and is gone for a couple of days?
Never with Taylem.
Okay.
Only ever by himself.
How long would he leave if he went off by himself?
A weekend.
Okay.
Longest he ever went was a weekend. He always came back.
When he would leave for the weekend, would you know where he was?
No.
Okay.
No. But he would, if I texted him or called him, he wouldn't give me information, but he would answer enough so that I would know that he was all right, or that I'd tell him I was going to come looking for him if he didn't answer my phone or text me back. And, he'd answer in some way, not to ever tell me where he was, but I'd know that he was not stuck.
Can we put some context for some people? So you and Raymond were in a relationship. Can you just elaborate just a little? You don't have to go in big, huge details, but let's just go with the time when he moved to town by himself. And then if you get a close date or a close month, and then you don't have to go into the reason or any of that, just so that people understand. Because I know in the other interview, it was a little confusing at the beginning. But let's just go into that. So you and Raymond were in a relationship.
Yep. 9 years. And then we were still together until this summer. But he moved out the house in November at the end of October, at the beginning of November of 2020. He said that he wanted to get his life under control, and that he was going to work on that. And he moved into an apartment, and we still did things together, and we still saw each other, and he just wanted space to work on things. And then in July of this year, he decided that he was done with that. And we were trying to work out Taylem situation and what we were going to do and how we were going to proceed. And um, Raymond was really, really struggling. And he has PTSD, and he's never had it treated. He told me once that he barely feels like he has control of his mind, and he doesn't want somebody messing in it, or what medications might do to it. And that's got to be an incredibly scary feeling. And yeah, and he I'm not a doctor. I have no idea, but to me, he really looked like he was really, really, really struggling, and we didn't know what to do for him or how to help him, or any of those things, and it just kept getting
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah, and for my mods, Oil Holland is a friend of the family, so just so you know, okay. I just wanted to let them know. So they're a new person in here, and just so that they know who it was. Um, so that's some backstory on who Raymond is and who and you guys were they've been together for a long time. And let's go into we're going to talk about Raymond first and what Raymond likes to do and the things that he's into. And then we'll get into Taylem and we'll talk about like Talem's favorite color and different stuff like that. So first, before we do that, let's go into where he has family at, where police think that he may have gone to. I believe Colorado is one of the states and Washington is the other one. And then you can go ahead.
I couldn't focus on your question. I'm sorry.
Okay. So the police in their flyer and what they put out on the internet say that he may be in Colorado or Washington because he has family in both places.
Yes.
And you don't say the exact towns
Nope.
on here. In the northern part of Colorado, eastern part, southern, central, if you know. If you don't know, that's okay.
I don't know. My geography is not
Okay.
that. My brain's not working.
That's okay.
His family member that lives in Colorado does not live in Denver, but this person lives in that area. It's
Okay.
near. And then he has in Washington his family members that live there in a couple of different towns, but they live in Western Washington. And I'm not sure. I think that he has. I just recently learned this and I haven't confirmed it, but he has another family member that might live more in central Washington, but I haven't been able to confirm that.
Okay. What does the 9 years that you guys were together, what are the things that Raymond likes to do? What type of I'm asking these questions because it may help to pinpoint where he is because he's going to get bored with just being in the middle of nowhere. So he's got to be doing something that he likes to do or around that type of activity. So just get into some of the things that like he's into. Is he into cars? Is he into boats? Is he into camping? Is he into fishing? Any of that stuff?
He really likes camping and hiking, being outside. He loves rock hounding, just outside stuff, gardening. He friends are laughing. I'm not sure why, but
He wrote he is into nerd stuff. That's why.
He is into nerd
He's a
stuff.
granola man.
He likes to garden. He did some stuff to get a little bit into fishing, and he was really interested in getting into hunting. He was looking for somebody to help him with that, and yes, he is into nerd stuff. He likes Dungeons and Dragons and board games, and loves to play chess. He's a brilliant chess player, and he computer games like Heroes of New Earth and oh, I wish my oldest son was here. He'd tell me what the other one that he was super into. He was starting a new one called Crowfall, but there was one in between that I can't think of the name of. Is it
Computer game?
Yeah, is it StarCraft?
It could be StarCraft. It could be Elder Ring.
I don't remember that one.
Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, I don't know, but online computer games. Yeah, not a big fan of TV, but he does like Star Trek: The Next Generation. Those kinds of things when he does watch it.
Okay. He is an avid hunter.
No, he was. He has the stuff for it. His dad is an avid hunter, and Ray was interested in learning.
Yes, he had a skin rabbit. I never got it.
Okay. I asked that question because obviously if they're living off grid or in the middle of nowhere, that they'd have to, I know that they have food with them, but they would have to produce some type of other food. That's why I asked. I mean, he would hunt. He knows how to hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows how. He has not. I don't think that he doesn't have a lot of experience with it, but he has the capability and the stuff to do it. But they probably have enough jerky to last them a year.
Yeah.
So he's got.
How much, yeah, I know that he's been saving up and preparing for this on the food. You could just tell everybody how much he has enough food to live for the both of them for a year, if not more.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. I know that in the other interview, I believe you were messaging me while I was playing that, and you said that they have warm weather clothes and cold weather clothes with them.
Yes.
Or you're unsure. Okay.
Yeah.
So does he like warm weather?
He prefers warm weather.
Okay. Okay. Let's get into Taylem. What is Taylem into? What's Talem's favorite color, by the way?
If you ask Talem's favorite color is the favorite color of whoever is asking him. But he's drawn to things that are red and blue.
Okay. Perfect. That's important. On the next flyer that we do, we'll get it dressed up for you. And so Talem's 4 years old. What did you say?
I agreed with you. He's 4 years old.
Okay. So Taylem was in school yet? Not in school yet?
Taylem was not in. He's not in kindergarten. We signed him up for a little homeschool co-op preschool group, and his first day of that was October 3rd, and that's what the picture that's on the flyer is from. And his last day of that.
What does Taylem like to do? Taylem, I know I'm going to lead you into the question because I know from talking with you that you guys, he likes to be outside.
He does.
So go ahead.
He does love to be outside. He loves the park. He loves sandbox. He loves watching tractors and construction equipment. He loves to swim and be in the water. We have some kayaks, and his dad had, it's still here, but his dad has a canoe that he likes to go on the river in, and Taylem really likes the water. He really likes to dig in the sandbox and play in rocks. That's our sandbox, and there's his excavator, and yeah, he's an outside kid, and when he's inside, uh, he has an inside sandbox with little construction equipment, and he plays in it. He likes dinosaurs. His favorite dinosaur is the Ankylosaurus. Likes to paint.
I'm zooming in because if everybody will take a look, his hair here is really long and curly. If his hair gets long like this, it'll get curly.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Because as time goes on and his hair grows more, he'll look differently. Because he looks, the thing that is captured my eye is in a lot of his pictures with the way that his hair is, he looks different in them, which is quite interesting. So it would be easy for them to disguise what he looks like, is my point behind it. And I see he's an outside guy because this is the little guy here, because this is pretty neat, this sandbox here. And it's cold outside in this picture. And it seems like he's okay out in the cold in this picture here. It looks like he's got his snow boots on, or his snow pants, and a big coat here. And the reason why I brought this picture up for everybody that's in the audience, he is so smart. I'm always amazed at how well spoken he is. That's Margot's over there typing that. I bring this up because this is the tent that they have with them. It's a pretty big tent. They also have a wood burning stove with them. And from what it looks like here in this picture is that they don't mind being outside, especially in the cold.
No, not at all.
What else do we need to know about Taylem?
He is, he loves Spider-Man. He will run around pretending to be Spider-Man and make the little, I can't figure out how to work my phone, but the little, he's shooting webs, and he loves to climb on things and jump on things, and he's yes, he will eat blueberries like they're Skittles, raspberries and blackberries also. He's a clever little guy. He can make his own oatmeal, provided he's got the setup for it, and he's not people shy. He will walk right up to people. He will say, "My name's Taylem Berry. What's yours?" And he's a happy little guy. He's a smiley little guy, and he's talk to anybody.
So question then, since you said that he'll just walk up to somebody and say his name. So if he did walk up to somebody now, and let's say Ray said that, hey, let's say my name is, I forget what the other name is.
Ragnar Allfather.
Yeah. Would he use that name and say, hey, my name is Ragnar Allfather? Would Taylem do that?
I don't actually know that.
Okay.
That he would default to Taylem, but he did come home from his dad's and tell me that his dad told him that his real name was Ragnar Allfather. And I know that his dad likes to call him that, and I think Taylem might be willing to accept that to please his dad. I don't know.
We're gonna move on to the significance of what Taylem's middle name is, and I have reached out to some people over there and sent some posters and some other stuff to some rangers over there. I'm told that's a very dangerous place at this time of year. and with the snow and stuff. But go ahead and tell everybody what Taylor's middle name is.
Talem's middle name is Rainier, and I didn't know when we named him that, but the joke that goes with that now that I'm aware of is it's after the mountain, not the beer. His dad is from Washington and loves that mountain. It's
It's a focal point
yeah.
in Washington. You see it pretty much.
Yeah, you do. Corey just told me that it's a focal point in Washington and you see it everywhere, and you do. It's beautiful, and his dad loves it. It's he loves it enough to have given that to him for Talem's middle name, and he always wanted to move back to that area. He wanted to move back to Washington or the Oregon area and be there. And it's his dad's favorite mountain.
So you guys have been. So he moved to town. This just came across my mind. He moved to town in October, right? Like a whole year ago. Or am I wrong?
No, my brain just broke. I think it was 2 years ago.
Oh, so he's been gone for 2 years. The reason why I'm asking is I've asked this to you in private before, that if he owned a cabin anywhere. And I don't know if you've thought on that anymore, but if he's been gone for 2 years and has bought one since then, you probably wouldn't know.
No, I have no idea.
And I guess the other thing with being out there in like the middle of nowhere, even in Washington or Oregon, buying a cabin, I don't know how those work. I don't know if it's still where you buy the land and the cabin and stuff, or it's kind of an off the books type of thing. I don't know, but that just came across my mind when we were sitting here talking, that trying to figure out how long he had been gone. Because 2 years is a decent amount of time to save up some money to purchase a cabin or something out in the middle of nowhere. Because a tent like this would be doable with the wood burning stove that he has, but you would be able to see the wood burning stove and it would look odd, like the tent being out there with the wood burning stove. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's something normal that is out in those parts. I don't know.
I think off-grid living is getting more common in certain areas, and while it might look odd to some people, it would look perfectly normal to others. He always said it was going to be our recession home.
Yeah. So now that has me thinking, so he could just be in a camp of where other campers could be, like other people that want to live this way.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Oh, that's a good point. Taylem is Ray's world. I truly feel Ray needed from autumn. Oh, geez.
It's the truth.
Just trying to think of anywhere else that they could be. I just think planning and having a tent with a wood burning stove, that the plan isn't to go to warm weather.
I think he has enough things and resources with him that the idea might be that we have no idea where he is, because he can be anywhere. He can be in warm weather. He can be pulling that trailer and boondocking in the back of that pickup, and they can just be traveling around. He can be set up somewhere. He could have rented an apartment somewhere, and they could just be living a normal life in some other town. I don't know.
This is going to be kind of a weird question, but a 1995 F-350, is that common where you guys, like, I know it's an older truck, but it was well taken care of, but is that common out there?
Yeah, they're pretty common out here. They're mostly old farm trucks, but
Richland County.
Yeah.
They don't make them like that anymore. So anybody that has one of them will keep it forever because you can't find them like that anymore.
No, and that one's in great shape. And only the 1 tons came as a crew cab. So I mean, they haul and they pull, and they came with the 7.3 Power Stroke and the Corey, help me. Is it the 754? The 7?
No, it's a big block.
Yeah, it's a big block.
460.
Okay, there we go. My brain broke. I was a diesel mechanic, not a. I don't work on gasoline engines, but Corey says it's the 460. But they come with big engines in them. They work. They're beasts. They do.
Gas guzzler.
They are gas guzzlers. If he's driving, he's got to be getting gas somewhere because they do not sip the go-go juice. But they have high suspension in them. He just had brand new tires put on it, and they're Cooper Discover ATs. So they're not big, huge, knobby, grippy tires, but they'll still get him just about anywhere he needs to go, and he won't hang up. Yeah.
So this is the truck that they're in, just so everybody that's watching here. This is better. The one that's on the poster is great, but it's pixelated because they like shrunk it. So this is a really good picture. It's more clear to be able to see. Let me see. And we'll zoom in here. The trailer. So the important thing with trailers, as you know, I was telling you earlier, does the trailer have one tire in the back like this?
Yes.
Or does it? Okay, perfect. Because I wanted to get to as close of a trailer as what it is, because it's not a big, huge trailer. It's, I don't know, that may be like a 7.5 by, I don't know, maybe 14-foot trailer.
No, I don't even that big. I think it's 6x8. It's 6x8.
6x8. Okay. That's good to know. So it will look pretty small behind that truck.
Yeah.
So
when he bought that trailer, he was pulling it with a 2005 Ford Ranger. So the trailer and the truck don't match. It's a small trailer and a big truck.
Okay. What else do we got here to show?
Yep.
And if you guys want a whole bunch of more information, there's a bunch of information on this poster, and I've posted this one a couple times. He does look different in different pictures. When he doesn't have a goatee, and he probably will look different with a full beard too. He could grow in all of it, right? All of his facial hair.
It's patchy right here, but yeah, he can grow.
Okay. I guess. What else do I got here?
I have a side note that just occurred to me.
Go ahead.
When he goes to restaurants to order food and they ask for his name, he tells them his name is Jeff.
Okay. Yeah. And for the viewers here, he has been saving up and stocking supplies, and has been preparing, is what I have taken from everything that everybody said. This picture here, so I see Margot says his hair is long, unless he's cut it. So I don't think his hair is long in this picture.
His hair is in a ponytail in that picture. So
in that picture? Okay.
His hair is still long. He probably has it in a ponytail.
Okay.
He does talk a lot.
Go ahead.
Oh, Corey just told me he talks about books a lot. He really enjoys educating the people around him by talking about the various books he's read on the the subjects that interest him.
Leveraging superiority complex, I call it.
You
He's very good at talking down to people.
you could put that in the chat.
I did,
Okay.
but no one talked about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I'll go take a look. Even colder. But with the temperature, is that what he was talking about?
No, the intelligence.
Oh, Corey says that he has an intelligent superiority complex. He talks to people like he's smarter than them and knows more than they do about many things. He likes Taylem loves to go to Dairy Queen. Their pretzels are a very special treat for him. He likes to get pretzels and an applesauce. And
that's interesting that you say that, because that if that's something that he really, really likes to do, that's another area to look is to where all of Dairy Queens are. If that's like his special thing.
yeah, that's Talem's special thing. And Ray likes Mexican restaurants and Panda Express.
Yeah, so that answered that question there too. Thanks for the questions, chat. And Sleuth Mom is here, just so you know. What would his motive be if you guys were getting along? Is it paranoid? Paranoid.
He's incredibly paranoid about everything. He's like, I don't know. I've read. Again, I'm not a doctor, but that's one of the symptoms that I've read for PTSD is increased paranoia. And Ray has PTSD, and I would say that he is very paranoid.
Yeah.
Kind of like doomsday prepper paranoid, like.
Yeah. Corey just is like he's a doomsday prepper. He's anti-government. He doesn't have faith in the system. He at one point bought long-range walkie-talkies because he was worried that we weren't going to be able to communicate it by other means. He made sure that there were 6 of them so that we all had one.
We'll get back to that here in a second, because I'm going to ask you some other questions of technicality that he may know how to do that I don't think we personally have spoken about yet. Can flyers be sent to the Dairy Queens? Now, that's an interesting thing. And I know Margot's listening there in the back. That's interesting that somebody brought that up and you mentioned about the pretzel, because I would think if that's Talem's favorite treat, that at some point you would think that they would show up to one. So maybe we can figure out, I think they're all individually owned, like the smaller ones, but I wonder if the ones that are open year round, like I have one here that's close to me, it's open year round, but it's more of like a franchise one, not just a little tiny thing. So that'll be interesting. We'll have to look into that. And I know there's a lot of people here that will that are in chat that will help. They'll go and reach out to them, and who knows, maybe they already have them. But we got a couple more questions here. My mom was extremely paranoid and bipolar. She thought the same way. Does he believe in, I don't want to say it wrong, QAnon?
QAnon. That's the
QAnon?
fighters that brings down the dark web, the far right wing, very far right wing.
They're educating me in the background.
Yeah, I don't know what that word meant. So
they're like militia times 1,000. Like they're about fortifying and bunkerizing. They're not.
I
go
heard him talk about QAnon. Is that what you called it, Corey?
Yeah, Buchanan.
I don't know how you say it either, but I'd never heard him talk about it. So I don't know. I don't have a good.
They're conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, Corey says they're conspiracy theorists, and I don't know about that particular group, but Ray has at times been on the bandwagon for some conspiracy theories.
Bex, that makes me believe and think he's protecting Taylem. I would agree 100%. And that's just my belief. But I would say the same thing. Taylem is very special to him. But we'll just put it that way. We'll move on to another one.
Yeah, I think Ray doesn't think that he's in the wrong. He's pretty. So that's making it harder because he's not being sloppy.
Right.
Smart.
Ray, he will not be sloppy at all.
Has Corey ridden snowmobiles with him?
Have you?
What?
Have you ridden snowmobiles with him?
No, but I have ridden.
Corey says ridden snowmobiles, but not
Okay,
with.
So how far is Canada from you guys?
80 miles.
80 miles.
Okay.
It's significantly farther to get to the port of entry that's closest to us, but there are so many gravel roads that go across the border, and you don't even realize you're across the border. Old farm roads. My big kids' dad lives a little farther north than I do in North Dakota, and he and his buddies would jump on snowmobiles, and they they'd just be out having a good time and realize that they weren't in the States anymore and that they needed to get back across the border. And they'd do the same thing when they were out cruising on a Friday or Saturday night on gravel roads, and they'd see a road sign in metric or French or something that would indicate to them that they were not in Kansas anymore, or North Dakota, as the case may be, and have to turn around and go back. So theoretically, it's supposed to be hard to get in, but where we live, you can do it on accident pretty easily. And if you were trying to, you could do it on purpose pretty easily. Oil field roads would be another way to get to Canada.
Yeah, and I was looking at the map a little bit over there in Canada, and there's not. You have to go probably another 30 minutes once you get into Canada to be able to hit a main road where there's a town. So by that time, I don't know. The only thing that worries me with the Canada theory that I have is that the plates would have Wyoming plate or Montana plates on them. So if he was driving there, they would see Montana plates. But I've never been to Canada, so I don't know if that would be an automatic trigger for them to pull you over in Canada. I don't know.
The Canadian plates are down here like crazy.
Yeah, we see Canadian plates all the time, and we have people that go up to Canada all the time because for us it's closer to go to a great big mall there than it is to go to our closest big city here. Another couple hours to get to Regina and have more shopping and more experiences than the 4 hours it takes to get to Bismarck or Billings. So there's a lot of travel between the two places.
I don't know what you told me. I think she's talking about the Canada thing. Let's see what else we got here. Bex with MRE and other proper style things just makes me wonder. Plus, the way he appears to want to protect his child. Yeah, I would agree. I don't know what was asked. Oh, this was what was asked. I only asked because a lot of them believe that the 10 days of dark is coming and that there will be lockdowns, etc., etc. And they are trying to flee to safety living off the grid. And we've talked about that a little bit, but that would seem that would appear to be what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Ray thinks that his preferred lifestyle is off-grid living. There's a place in Oregon that's a hot springs, and it burned a few years ago in a fire, but they're rebuilding it, and he wanted to go out there and help with that and move out there. But they used to have housing. For the people that ran the resort there. And so everything, it was like a self contained little place. The resort brought people and tourists and money, and the people that worked there got to live there. And it was its own little community with a school and all of the things. And Ray was excited about living in a place like that. And yeah. And he was really worried about the government and recession. And at one point, he was trying to get me to figure out how to teach Taylem Chinese because he figured they were going to own over half the country and it was going to be the predominant language. And he wanted to communicate. And yeah.
The JDR's in Canada. So if they don't have Canadian plates, they may pull you over, but not necessarily. It depends on what is going on with the vehicle. And if he's right there, like right by the border, and he has Montana plates, and Montana's like right there, I don't think they would think twice about it. You know what I mean? It would be different if he was like way up into Canada. But being close to the Canadian border, where Montana is, would be probably a normal thing.
Yeah.
So
for me,
It's like Mexico plate.
I would just, I guess, if he was up that far in it, I would just think that he came through the right way and was doing his thing, and I would never think that that was weird.
do you I don't know if this is happening. She should drop some flyers to the police across the border. I'd imagine that Sidney has already done it, but I'm only assuming. And I guess that would be a valid question to ask them if they've contacted police in Canada.
Yeah.
They may not have because they believe that he went to Colorado or Washington or California or wherever they think that he went to.
Initially, friend, the same friend that I talked about earlier, and he was in contact with a relative that lives in Colorado, and he was there briefly, at least at one point, but I don't know where he went after that or when he left. And the person that was there indicated to this friend that they had told him that this was not a good idea, but didn't do anything to try to stop him.
Now, does this is a question I asked you, and we didn't get into it too much. I didn't ask a reasoning why until I was thinking on it more. The Indian reservation that is close to you guys.
Yeah.
Now, does he have a reason ever to go there? Like, does he know people that are there?
I don't think that he knows people that are there. The only reason we ever went there is and it's pretty big. he knows anybody over there.
Okay. That was just something that I was thinking about, as we had talked about that a little bit, and I didn't hint on it anymore or anything. So that's a good question. I don't know if you can see that. Is he part of any militia group or any type of a group?
Not that I'm aware of.
I'm just trying to see which province is it that he had been in. I don't know what province is it. Is it Saskatchewan that's right above you?
Saskatchewan.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That's what I thought.
Alberta or
Yeah.
Alberta.
Yeah, Saskatchewan is not fabulous for the trees and things that Raymond likes. Alberta and British Columbia are close-ish also, and would be more the type of area that I think Raymond would prefer. Trees, rivers, mountains.
I just hold on 1 second. They're saying that they can't hear. Can you guys hear now? I think they can hear now. You were breaking up there a little bit. What did you say when you were talking about the Indian reservation, that he didn't know anybody there? Have you guys been there together?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've been there together. We went kayaking there and hiking there, and it's a pretty good elk hunting place around here, over by the Missouri Breaks. And then, but I don't know of anybody that he knows that's over there.
This is interesting because JDR is in Canada.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of conspiracy junkies in Alberta.
Yeah.
That's interesting to know.
That's where a lot of trees are.
Yeah. And that's the type of environment with the Rays, trees and mountains and lakes and rivers, like I said. But that's more fitting for the type of landscape he would be after than Saskatchewan or yeah, man, way too cold for Ray. I think he would if he had to, but I don't think he wants to have to.
Well, I told you from the beginning, he could be living 5 miles away from you and you'd probably never know, in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's the hard thing about this is he could be right down the road from you guys and you'd have no clue. And I mean, that could be what's going on. I don't know.
I don't know either. My kids and I, they take turns, but my oldest goes with me a lot because he's got good eyes and recognizes things.
Yeah.
And we drive a lot, just looking back roads, gravel roads, parks along the river, over to Glendive in the Badlands. We drive a lot, just looking and praying and hoping.
The other thing that I was talking to somebody else about this, and with it being so cold there, on the days that you know that it's cold and you can see smoke for like miles, like his little wood burning stove would put out a decent amount of smoke that you'd be able to see it, or it doesn't put out enough that you won't be able to see it.
It's pretty windy a lot of the time. I don't know that you'd be able to see it, but there are so many fireplaces, and this is a rural area. Wood piles and fireplaces and smoke is not uncommon at all.
But all tents are not efficient. They're good for a week. Live out of them. He is going to have to be cutting firewood around the clock.
Yeah, especially
those little potbelly stuff.
Yeah, and it's a big enough used 2 of them.
Easy. And with Taylem being small, his feet are gonna get cold quick. His hands are gonna get cold. It's gonna go from an adventure to a nagging little toddler. And Ray doesn't have, I think, the patience. It's gonna wear thin.
Yeah.
So he's either gonna be buying wood. He's got to be where there's wood. There's no wood around here, and the wood that is for sale is so astronomically expensive. It would go through his funds.
Yeah.
Same with the MREs. That's 6 meals a day. I mean, he's got to have barrels and drums of meals prepped. He's going to get flushed out at some point because he's going to have to get supplies.
Well, he's got all those 5-gallon buckets full of lentils, and if they're by water, he can feed lentils to Taylem, and that will feed the 2 of them. 5 gallons of lentils will feed the 2 of them for a really long time.
Sure.
But if he is somewhere like here, I mean, we have cottonwood, and it burns so fast and it burns so messy that it takes a ton of it. But if he can get around ash or anything that burns slower and cleaner.
Right.
We'll get back to that in 1 second. How many days was it from her last contact before police started searching? And did police ever really search? Not really, because he kind of took off, right? They kind of put out a bolo.
Yeah. He, they did a welfare check, and he wouldn't answer his door. So after the second one, and knowing that his vehicle and his trailer were gone, and then the friend that I've been talking about gave them some more information about the phone call that Raymond made to him. They got the manager they had enough to get the manager at the apartments to open his apartment for him, and it was empty. It had been cleaned out. So
how much furniture did he have in there?
A folding table, a kitchen island, 2 stools, a futon, Talem's bed, and 2 plastic 3-drawer, I don't know what to call them, but 3-drawer storage things, drawer storage things that they used for dressers. And then a safe, and a small gun safe, and a cardboard box that they used as Talem's toy box. And the corner of the living room was full of prepper food buckets and rice and lentil buckets and flour buckets and lots of 5-gallon buckets of food.
He could, I know he had a water purifying system, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that obviously they'd have to be next to water someplace.
Yeah. Most of the food he's got, except for the MREs and the jerky, requires water to prepare, and they obviously have to drink it.
Did he have water stored in there?
Not that I saw, but I live in a place where the water's not drinkable. Oh, he does have water. He has at least 7 of those 5-gallon, like the big blue jugs you get at the grocery stores. He has at least 7 of those with him, and they were full when he left.
I just by asking when the furniture is getting me confused here, meaning not me confused, but me leaning more towards a cabin or something, because he's gonna have to be out where nobody's gonna go to. Because if he's driving around that vehicle, I'm sure that's out there across many states. Doesn't mean necessarily that they're keeping their eyes out for it, but if he was, it just would make more sense if he drove to wherever he was going to be and then sit there and have enough supplies and everything there already so that they don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah. And I don't know of anything that he had set up for it, but his degree is in renewable energy technology, and solar power and wind turbines are interests of his. So I don't know what he can set up and what he can do. I just know that he has money and knowledge and supplies and does not want to be found.
He may have stashed barrels out there. I mean, he could have bought a boat. I don't know. I just don't know how it works where you guys live. I mean, nowadays anybody can pay money to stay someplace and maybe not even own it, and maybe you leave it in that person's name. I don't know. Because if he had a transaction of it being in somebody else's name, that would be traceable. Does that make sense? So even if they were in some type of shelter, whether it be a house, a trailer, anything to where they could hunker down and have enough supplies, that I mean, he wouldn't want to purchase it. He wouldn't want his name on it. You know what I mean?
Right. Even when he had his apartment, it was just a month-to-month thing. He lives in month-to-month places. He doesn't sign leases. He doesn't enter into contracts like that. So when he went to college, one year he boondocked on somebody's farm road, and they were just cool with it. Just lived in the back of his little Ford Ranger. And the other year, his first year out there, he did rent a house, but he just paid the landlord the money for the school year in cash up front and moved out when he was done, and they never had to interact or
And does he know how to, from his experience and training that he has, does he know how to use like an off-grid phone that he could hook up to a battery, or you know what I'm trying to say? Like, he could have communication with the world. It just would be through like a satellite phone, or you get where I'm going with this?
Yeah. Ray could ham radio. Ray could have a burner phone. Ray could have some kind of satellite phone. He is very intelligent, and if he's motivated, I think that he could learn just about any skill that he needed to learn and buy whatever he needed to buy to accomplish that. Even now, while he's not working, he's still getting his VA benefits, and so if he's living frugally, he doesn't even have to go get a job. He doesn't have to do any.
Wait, he's still getting VA benefits?
Yeah, he still gets VA benefits.
So how is it cash?
They're direct deposit.
But then you'd have to have an account.
Yeah,
So
but
then how do you withdraw?
Wells Fargo is everywhere.
Right, but you'd have to.
Yeah, but he would still have to use an ATM card, so there'd have to be a withdrawal somewhere.
Well, when he runs out of cash, maybe we'll get lucky that way. But he's got cash.
Because have we been able? Have you guys even thought of like contacting the VA and having to see what the military can do about this?
The VA has to be court ordered to do something.
Oh,
They have to have probable cause, and there's a process and a procedure, and yeah. We were hoping the VA could help us.
sure.
How well? I know that the police have been working on this. I know that it's a smaller town, and obviously there's resources that are helping you. I do know that some of the I did true. I know that you signed up for True Crime Replay. I know that they've been going over some of the stuff. So just so you know, I've reached out and making sure that they have all the information and stuff to figure out how we can all help. You guys are doing an amazing job in putting flyers and posters everywhere on social media. Coming from somebody over there that didn't use social media before, you guys are doing really, really good.
Thank you. Oh, and everybody else that's helping me, because I am trying.
Yeah, we love YouTube. We're YouTube based free.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to give credit where it was due, because I do struggle with and my Facebook account gets shut down pretty regularly because I was not active on it, and they see unusual activity and they don't think it's me, and they think I'm spam, or because that's how inactive I am on it.
Well, Ray wouldn't allow you to be connected to the outside world. It was his world or no world.
And to Corey's, I mean, he watches Zav Girl.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, okay. I can reach out to her. I actually have a mod in here that knows her very, very well. Just so you know. So we can reach out to her. There's other ones out there too that are good people and genuinely will put this in front of their viewers. Like I was telling you before, it's my subscribers are going to be different than theirs, and theirs are going to be different than the next person. And the goal is to get it, like have like a conversation like this of getting to know the facts, getting to know the details, and then using the army of the subscribers and stuff to go ahead and start sharing this out everywhere so that it gets put everywhere into the hunting, fishing, camping,
Hiking,
rock climbing. I mean, even rock climbing groups. I mean, there's out in the Pacific Northwest, there's a big, huge groups of hikers and campers and stuff. So
yeah, and homesteading groups, and just rock hounding groups, like you said, rock climbing groups. But yeah, I don't know this for sure because I have no way of knowing. Because if I knew, I'd just go get him. But Ray does like to be outside. He really does, and so does. So I think that outdoor adventurers, people like that, are probably going to be the people most likely to see them.
yeah. Anything else that you guys can think of? No.
I don't have anything. I'm looking at.
He's thrifty, right?
Yeah, Ray's thrifty.
Pawn shops.
Consignment stores, thrift stores, Walmart if it's easiest and fastest. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess I don't know much about MREs, but I know that you know about them. Is that something that Taylem would get sick if he was eating MREs all the time? But he has enough lentils and other stuff, right?
Yeah, he has lentils, rice, oatmeal, all three of those things in 5-gallon buckets. And then they sell 5-gallon buckets full of survival meals. It's like
Mountain House.
Yeah. Yeah, they're dehydrated meals. You just add water and cook them, and it's 2 weeks for 1 person or 2 weeks for 2 people in those buckets. I don't know. He has a whole bunch of them. He bought our grocery store out of them every time they came in, and so there would be variety in there. And the MREs would probably make Taylem constipated, but the lentils would help with that. And I mean, 1 MRE can sustain a soldier doing their thing for an entire day.
They're like 3,000 calories.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like 3,000 calories. There's a lot of calories in there. So, I mean, give Taylem the crackers and the cheese one day, or for a snack, and warm up the beef stew or the chicken stew or the whatever the meal is for another day. Or I mean, Taylem could probably very easily be full off of an MRE for 2 days.
Okay. That's what I didn't know enough about them to go their military meals.
And they're all edible cold, but you can, take your canteen cup out, put the little activator pouch in there and warm them up. And yeah, you don't need purified water for that. You can just
use snow.
You can use anything. That's the way they're made, because soldiers can only carry so much drinkable water, and so you don't want to waste it if you don't have to. And yeah, because the pouch, you leave the food in the pouch and just put it in the canteen cup and it heats it up. So it doesn't even need purified water to make those.
Yeah. Any other questions from chat before we wrap this up here? I think we covered a lot of information. Yes, Vanna, like what you eat on a spaceship. They're going back and forth with each other there. I think you covered a lot of stuff. Now it's time for us to share and continue sharing posters. Continue. I mean, you guys are doing a great job. You just have to continue doing it, and eventually he's going to get in that truck and go someplace. And it's just a matter of time. I mean, it could be 2 months from now or tomorrow. We don't know.
I know there's places out west that sell firewood by bulk. All you gotta do is show up. They run a conveyor belt. It's like lumber yards.
Mm-hmm.
They'll sell firewood. Maybe talking to those guys, sawmills and stuff like that. I'm a poster, let them know what's going on, because that kind of truck would stick out like a store front, and it's all cash based.
Yeah, I think you can hear Corey, but he was talking about how out with the bulk firewood. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I know that the friend has been talking. What just a suggestion is to ask a friend if he had ever talked about renting a place or going to a place, because with how cold it is and everything out, it wouldn't make sense if he was like rented a place with cash, like how you said, and then have all those supplies. But when did you report that they were missing? Like, when did they officially start looking? How many days of a head start did he have?
He had a 9-day head start because we didn't have a parenting plan, so it had to be long enough to call for a welfare check. As Montana does not allow for it's complicated and I don't understand it, but they did the welfare check on the 18th, and that's when they started to set things in motion. And I mean, it is possible that he did do what you said that he did. That's one of the things that makes this hard, is because he could be in a town. He could be set up somewhere in his giant tent camping, and they could be just driving all over the place. That canopy, the topper on the back of that pickup, he bought plywood to set across the top of there, and you stuff a mattress in on top and sleep in it, and it's actually pretty warm because it's a fairly small area, and there are two of them to snuggle together, and you have all different kinds of storage under it. And it only takes a second if he leaves that trailer hooked up, or if he's dropped it somewhere, I don't know, to jump in the pickup and go and just be gone again.
Yeah, that's because if he had a 9-day head start, I mean, he could go and get supplies like groceries or whatever. I mean, I'd imagine he did his homework and had who knows how much other supplies that he went and got. Like maybe even before that you guys met up the last time, he could have already been doing that for a little while. When was the last time that you were actually at his apartment?
The end of June, the beginning of July.
So that was when he had all the buckets and
Yep.
he had them then. So from June and July until what's that of this year, right?
Yep.
So June, July, August, September, and then October. So that's 4 more months worth of supplies that he could have got. That you know that you don't even know about, or whatever he had there. Now
Right.
the interesting thing would be is that friend that is now speaking. I wonder if he had been there and saw him what he was buying, or stuff like that. It's just a suggestion. It's worth a try with him, is to see maybe there's a certain something that he's bought in recently that you'd only use in a certain part of the U.S. You know what I mean? To do something. He doesn't have credit cards, bank cards.
He does have them. He has piles of them. But I don't know that he's using them. Yeah, he was convinced that if the economy went bad, then he could just run up all the debt on the credit cards and then just never pay the bills, and there would never be anything to do about it. So he applied for lots of them.
I'm just trying to think of anything else that's possible. I mean, we'll get you some more flyers to circulate with different styles and stuff, and because keeping new ones and different ones catch people's eyes differently, but having new ones to put back out there makes it a lot easier to put them into the groups. The other good thing that you can do, and I know it's a lot of work, but you could go into the ones that you've posted. So like if you're into my Facebook group, you could go into a poster that is posted there, and just if you type a comment, it bumps that all the way up to the top. So like it'll be the first thing that you see again. Just a little thing. A lot of people will go in there and type bump, and then it bumps it to the top so that they know that you're bringing it. So that instead of posting a whole new thing, it just brings the relevancy back to the top again in the groups.
Okay.
So that can help to save from having to do the more different ones, the better. But it also allows you to go and take the older ones and get them moved back to the top again. As all the groups are growing and stuff, flyers should go into Lowe's and places like that heavily. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's enough different places that they're getting out there. I mean, we've done a pretty good job of getting them there. Definitely. Anything else that you want to say?
I doubt that he's watching, but if he is, I love you, Taylem.
Yeah. And this is one we'll have to continue to. These are hard because he's with somebody that cares for him. So I tell you this all the time, that it makes it harder because it's like Taylem probably doesn't know any differently. Like he's just with dad right now, and he's being taken care of and cared for, and it doesn't know any different. And at the same time, it's just heartbreaking because he's not at home, and it's gonna have to continue. He has enough resources to be gone for a year or two without having to pop back up into society. So that like truck and eventually he's gonna have to get diesel in that truck, or he's
Gas.
or he's had its gas.
Yep.
Or he's already, I don't know. We don't know. Maybe he saved a whole bunch of gas. We don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe he has gas with him.
He's got at least 10 jerry cans, so
yeah,
not a lot in that particular pickup, but he's got 10 jerry cans, so he can haul quite a bit of fuel.
All right. I think that is enough. I think that clarifies a lot of things that viewers were asking the other day in here. And, anybody here that's watching, Please make sure you hit the thumbs up. The more likes that we get on this video, the more people that are going to see it. And then definitely we'll get you planned with something with Sleuth Mom and get you over there in front of her viewers. And sometime this week, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope you guys, bye, Corey and Margot.
See ya.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to put you down, okay?
Okay.
All right, everybody. All we can do is help share the this live, continue sharing the posters, and yeah, continue to talk about this case with as many people as you can. And as I always say at the end of these, thank you guys for coming here. And thank you to my mods. And as I always say, if you see something, say something. Until the next one, everyone.